Hi, welcome to Theater Crafts, where we take theater memorabilia and we make brand new treasures. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little story today. When I was a teenager, my dad bought me one of these wax, to make wax seals. He bought me one. I had an A on it for Allison, and I was fascinated by this. I used to take and melt crayons or wax and put these seals on the back of envelopes of, friends, letters that I was sending to friends. And I just loved it. And so I kind of got, I don't know, just fascinated by it. And so I was thinking about that recently. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to take one of those and use hot glue? And that way you could display images with it. And so let me show you what I got here. So I've got several of them here. So basically I've taken hot glue and I've got theater images behind those so that you can see those images, and you could use those on envelopes. You could put it on, maybe a notebook. It would make a letter that you're sending to someone special, make that letter really special. So anyway, so today we're going to use, instead of wax seals, hot glue seals. All right, let's get crafting. Okay, so here are some of these stamps up a little more closely. You can see, basically, I've taken the hot glue and I stamped the image in that one over Lion King. You see Aunt Juliet here. And I painted around the heart and then around the edge. But I also, look at this one, I added, for Mean Girls, I added some sparkles. And I used a paint pen on that one, and I added sparkles on this one as well. So there are lots of different ways that you can decorate them once you stamp the hot glue. And here are the things that you need. So basically you need your stamp, and this one, I loved this heart design. So stamps, you can get them anywhere. You can get that one I got on Amazon. Obviously you need your hot glue, and you want to make sure that you're using glue sticks that are clear, so crystal clear. And I have some here that I wanted to just show you. These I just got, at a local craft store. But if you notice, one on the left here has a little bit of a kind of a yellow cast. That one doesn't come out as well, and I'll show you some examples of that later. You want, obviously, your images, and you can get your images anywhere. I'm going to do the Anastasia today, right from this that was taken out of a playbill. And then however you're going to decorate it. So I used some of these acrylic markers, but you could use metallic paint and just a paintbrush, and that would work too. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to do the Anastasia here. That's right out of a playbill. And, there are other options though. I have this fabric, and if you've seen any of my other videos, I love this fabric. I use it fairly frequently. And I did use that for, like, for example, for this particular one, you can see the image right there. But you could use just about anything. You could use pictures if you want. So anyway, I'm going to use the Anastasia one here, and obviously my hot glue gun. Now, if you notice, my stamp is on this kind of, it's one of those frozen packs. I found that if you keep the stamp really nice and cool and your glue gun on the low setting, that's easier to get the stamp off of the image. Ask me how I know, because I had some difficulty with some of them. So you want to line up your image and the stamp and just leave it there for just a moment. And then you're going to take that off, and you will see the image, in my case, the heart image. You'll see it right on the program page here. And notice I'm letting it cool a little bit. I even put it on the cold pack there just to be able to release it. And there we go. See, you can see the heart. I don't know if you can see that. But it looks really cool. So I'm going to let that cool just a little bit longer, and then we're going to embellish it. Okay, like I said, you can, when you're embellishing it, you can certainly leave it as it is. You could use acrylic markers if you want. I found that those worked really well. Or you could use some sort of metallic paint, whatever your aesthetic is. I chose the metallic paint for some of them, but you see here the pink was the acrylic markers. I found that they didn't have the sheen that I liked, which is why I added the glitter, but metallic paint works great. And you can certainly use any metallics that you want. I happen to really like the gold. But let me chat just for a second about the different types of glue sticks. If you notice, I talked about this at the beginning. See, the Anastasia has a much clearer image than the one on the left. That's because the one on the left, I used the glue stick that had the yellow cast, whereas the Anastasia, I used the crystal clear. So really make sure that you're using crystal clear for this particular project. All right, let's get back to painting. So it's totally up to you how much you want to embellish this, but I'm choosing to paint the heart. I just think it's really kind of cool to have the heart there, but you could use, there are tons of stamps out there, and you could certainly use any kind of stamp that you like. There's also clear wax. You could use clear wax. I just didn't happen to have it, but you certainly could use clear wax if you have that in your stash. But hot glue seems to be something that just about anybody has. And so I thought that would be really accessible for people to be able to do some project like this. So anyway, I'm gonna paint this. I probably will give it a couple of coats just for coverage, but look at how sweet that looks. And just kind of showing your love for this particular show or for musical theater in general. I just think that's really, really sweet. Okay, so I let the paint dry, and now I'm going to cut it out. So you want to get kind of like your fussy kind of cutting scissors, smaller scissors, and I'm kind of angling it so that I'm able to get as much of that backing paper off as possible. And then I'm actually going to add another layer of the paint on there, mostly because I wasn't able to get around the sides, you see here. So I'm just adding another layer of paint around the sides. Now, you know, with these wax seals, you can add them, you know, basically to any like invitation. Wouldn't those be really special if you have like, I don't know, a special birthday celebration, or if you have, you know, like a Tony Award party or a movie night and you want to send a special invitation, or if you have someone who's in a production that you know and you want to be able to give them a really special, you know, congratulations letter. I just think these are really a way of kind of elevating any sort of correspondence that you have. I just love them. All right, and so again, adding that other layer, and I'm just going to let this layer dry. And I did get a little bit on the inside there, so I'm just kind of scratching it off with my nail. As long as you get it before it dries, you should be pretty good. All right, so I'm going to let this dry. And here it is, all dry, all ready to go. I just think these are so sweet. Now, you're probably wondering, how do we, you know, incorporate these into our envelopes? You know, there are lots of ways that you can attach it. You could use, you know, a glue stick. I'm just going to use some tape here, some glue tape. And sorry, this is not on camera. I apologize for that. So I'm going to put some on the top and underneath the flap, and then just take, so you see here on the top and the bottom, and then just take it, I'm going to put it right on. Now I put permanent tape there, so it should stick really well. But that's it. You could put it on scrapbook pages, all sorts of different options for these seals. So I hope you give them a try. I love them. Let me know in the comments below which is your favorite. and how you might incorporate these into your, I don't know, your card giving or your note giving. I'd love to hear all about it. So thank you for joining me for this week's Theater Craft. I will see you next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.